We're going to do an unboxing video. So I actually kind of did this outside. In case you don't know, I'm right here on the beach here, Hawaii. There's the Pacific Ocean. It is an incredible evening. But that's not what you guys are here for. You are here for the unboxing video. Alright, so this is the AsRock Z490M-ITX/AC. So pretty good little motherboard, I believe. At least price-wise, $155. Available at Amazon. Check the link down below in case you would like to make this your own. So we're going to go actually really heavy in the details on this time, I believe. A lot of times I kind of shortchange you guys. I figure, you know what, I might as well make the videos a little longer, give you guys all the facts. So some of this stuff, you know, yours truly can't read without his glasses, and he doesn't have his glasses. So we'll use the camera. Zoom in, you can pause your screen. Evidently there is going to be RGB on this. You know, I don't use that much in my computer builds, but it's there. LED headers and an addressable RGB LED header there. So when we're looking at the motherboard, remember the one that's missing a pin is going to be this one, right? Because yours truly will forget by the time we get there. Nahimic audio, however you say that. Not something I use either. And so we'll get into this heavy. Dual band 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, so we should be pretty good there. This guy has the dual lands on it, so it looks like it's got the Dragon 2.5 gigabyte per second one, and then the regular one, the other one. So which you can see in this picture, and we'll get into it. Dual M.2. So funny thing is, you know, if you see my other videos, I've got an AsRock Z490 Phantom Gaming 4 motherboard. It's only got one M.2, and I bought this little dinky one. Not only has Wi-Fi, but it's got the two M.2, so that's pretty cool. Here's some of the other specs. Hopefully we'll get into it. Obviously it's LGA 1200 socket. Chipset is Intel Z490, and we'll talk a little bit more about the RAM and what CPUs this supports and all that good stuff. And obviously form factors mini ITX. So let's flip it over. Now I'm, you know, kind of curious if you bought this, what you guys are thinking about pairing it up with CPU wise. From what they say online, you know, this will work with pretty much any of the 10 gen. So you're talking Celeron G5900, which I have, Pentium Gold G6400, which I have, the i3 10100, the 10320, and all the other ones in between. The i5 10400, which I have, the i7 10700, and the i7 10700K, right? So not only that, but also the i9 10900K and the i9 850K, which is you know, a steal compared to it. Of course, some of those you may need a BIOS update to get them to work properly, like that last one, the i9 10850K. So let's go ahead and get in here. So you've got the manual. These are always, you know, AsRock, they do okay with their manuals. Sometimes the print's a little light. Two M.2 screws in here. Then you've got a sticker for AsRock, and then the disc, okay? And then, yeah, it's a little light if you ask me. They could have went, you know, a little bigger print, but they do make a good manual. So what I do is recommend that you go to AsRock's website, and what you'll need to do is, obviously you can search for the Z490M-ITX/AC. Just search for that, and then that'll give you a link right to it, and you want to click the second support, so not the one at the very top of the page, but the one about halfway down. And then under there you'll see CPU support list, memory, storage, and the manual, which will be a lot easier to read in there. So you'll definitely want to download that and keep it. That's also going to be the location where you'll do your BIOS update. So we will do a BIOS update, hopefully using the capture card, and you guys will get to see that, how it's done. Two versions, one through Windows and then the tried and true. So I've got examples all over the channel of how to do BIOS updates for AsRock, so you'll be able to see either one here. And honestly, if there's more than one BIOS out there, I will probably do both examples, because I make a lot of videos, and videos pay the bills, right? All right, so if you're watching this, I've done wasted what, 5 minutes 20 seconds already, you guys' time. So but hopefully you're getting some useful information out of this. All right, now the channel, I hate IO shields. I like the ones that are built in, but for 155, Z490 and Wi-Fi, I guess you can't really expect everything to be awesome, but we'll get into that. They also standard include 2 SATA 3 cables in case you're going to use a hard drive, which yours truly does not do anymore. I just buy bigger NVMe M.2. So 2 antennas, okay. All right, so I'm gonna get this out of here and then we'll talk about it in detail. All right, folks, so let's get into it. Now, a lot of this stuff I know, sometimes I have to go back to the manual. If there's any kind of delay, you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm looking at the manual. Even though the manual's sitting over here, trust me, I'm looking at the manual somehow. So we won't tell you all my secrets. All right. Here is a 1x8 CPU power connector, okay, coming from your power supply. Now, you'll notice on most of the Z490s that are, micro ATX and ATX, eATX, 1x8, 1x4. So this just pretty much tells you that, you can get away with a 1x8, right? You want to do extreme overclocking, then, maybe you need that 1x8, and this is probably not the way to go for that. Plus, you're not going to have some massive cooler. You may see on this channel that I will put a massive Noctua cooler on here if I can fit it. I have my doubts, but we'll see. All right, obviously here is your where your CPU is going to go. Got to be a 10th gen at the moment. Intel Z490 is this motherboard once again, LGA 1200. So this probably will work for 11th gen in the future in case you're watching this. So we'll see what goodies that brings. Now over here, so kind of makes sense here. The one closest to the CPU is the CPU fan header, okay, and the other is a case header. You've got 2 DDR4 RAM slots there, okay. So those are 288 pin, and basically they're labeled DDR4 A1 and B1. All right, so you will want to use dual channel RAM. So basically, if you're going to go with 8 gigs, you should probably buy 2 4s. If you're going to go 16, you should go with 2 8s. Now, so when I say go with 2, that basically means if you want the dual channel configuration, you always need to install identical, okay. At least they should be identical, same brand, speed, size, and chip type in your slot there. If you only have one, which a lot of times I'll stick one in there more for testing, but then you're not getting the dual channel, right? Of course, just like the manual will say when you read it, DDR4 only. Don't try and stick DDR 1, 2, or 3 in there. All right, that'll be a huge mistake. So here is one of the 2 RGB headers here. All right, so not a whole lot on this one. This is going to be a lot easier, even though this video is dragging out, folks. Obviously 24 pin power connector, okay. This is going to come from your power supply. This is different AsRock motherboard, but that's what it looks like. Another AsRock motherboard, but that's what your CPU power connector is going to look like for 1x8. All right, so right here we have, if we can keep it in focus, this is a USB 3.2 Gen 1 header, and this is going to go to your computer case, okay? So if you have a case that has USB 3.0s on it, you will have a connector to put in here. If you don't, then this will not get used. If you happen to have a card reader A lot of times those use 3.0 as well. So this only has one of these. So that's, you know, usually not a problem with something this small. Like those cases don't have a lot. But if you get up into the ATX world, that's when sometimes it matters. All right, you've got your SATA 3 connectors. So you know, these are labeled basically 0 through 3. And then over here, this is where I really need to get this accurate for you guys, and it's hard to see. All right, so can't really read what that says, but this should be your front panel connectors. Okay, so HDD, and then you have the power LED in the back, the power switch, and then reset switch. So 2 pins, 2 pins, 2 pins, 2 pins. Okay, if you guys even saw that, I'm not even sure you did. So HDD, reset switch, power switch, and then the power LED. Behind this is USB 2.0. Okay, now here, this should be the addressable RGB here, if this will focus. Behind it is another question. All right, so if I'm looking in the manual correctly, clear CMOS jumper here. I'm not sure what the doodad is behind it. It's not labeled in the manual. Here is your PCI Express 3.0. All right, so where your awesome graphics card's going to go. And then we have our two M.2s here. Okay, they both have heat sinks over them. And so this is kind of nice, the fact that this actually has 2 of those. Some of the Z490s only have 1 by AsRock, so that's a nice little feature. HD audio, so this is going to come from your case. Here is your CMOS battery right here. Interesting how it's up there like that. Obviously, you know, you watch the channel, you know that I spend a lot of time with the bigger motherboards, and they don't do crap like that. So here is where your CPU goes. Okay, so obviously this is like we said, 10th gen. You're gonna go here, LGA 1200. All right, so did I miss anything, folks? We probably, there's a oh, there you go, there's another fan header right there, and then I have no idea what that guy is right there. So this guy right here is the where your PC speaker is going to go, the one that's going in this direction. Okay. All right, so we're almost done with this. Let's start over here. USB 2.0 parts. Okay. Then underneath it is the PS2 mouse keyboard port. Now I haven't used one of these in a gazillion years, and I sometimes make a comment. I'm like, I don't know why they do this. And some people will comment, I still use those, and I'm like, okay, sorry, but yeah. So there are people still using them. Now over here we have DisplayPort on top, okay, and then this should be HDMI down here. Now this guy is USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A port. Right underneath it is your Type C Charlie, okay, or USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type C port. Over here we have the 2 LANs, okay, so let's make sure I get these right. LAN RJ45 port, and then the 2.5 gigahertz, not gigahertz, giga whatever, LAN RJ45 port. So this is a Dragon 2.5G. Now 11 and 10 according to the guide. So this is a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A, so must be both of these. And then this guy is actually the same, so you have 4 of those. I don't know why they in the manual don't just label these the same number. All right, over here obviously 8 is your antenna ports. You saw the antennas earlier. And then over here you've got line in front speaker, and then below it is the microphone. So that's going to do it, folks. Hopefully you got something out of this. I know it took a while for that. We talked about the different types of CPUs. Now RAM wise, like I said, you're going to want to go to the website. They'll tell you what kind of RAM is compatible with this, right? So you go out and buy that awesome 4400 megahertz RAM, but you know what? You may not get 4400 megahertz with it if it's not compatible, okay? So keep that in mind. Also, that M.2 that you're hoping to use is for the OS, it may not be on their list. Is something that works with it. CPU wise, it looks like every CPU out there this will work with, so that's good. And if you want a manual to be able to read it better than what's there, you get that there, as well as where you're going to get your BIOS file. And I hopefully will have a link down below so you guys can see how to do the BIOS update. Now we will try and do a capture card so you get the best picture, as sometimes I've used a cell phone and that doesn't always come out the best for y'all. So all right, what else did we not talk about? So there are other things about this that people will wonder about. One, you know, how good is it for overclocking? I may just, you know, test the limits at some point, just because I send this back to Amazon over the next 30 days and you know, pretty much no questions asked, right? So we may do some stuff with it. I don't know if in the warning it says no overclocking. If it does, you know, oh well, right? So what else? Premium 60 amp power choke on this thing. That's reading through the specs. What else would you guys care about? 8 power phase design. So I think the bigger ones have 11 or 12. I could be wrong though. I'm sure somebody will correct me. This does support turbo boost. All right, so you can get away with your lock processor and enjoy, you know, that aspect. Now, memory-wise, it looks like the top speed RAM is 4400 megahertz, and as they do BIOS updates, you may see that value go up. Okay, it supports Intel's Extreme memory profile, and that's gonna do it, folks. A lot of other crap you guys can read on their website, and I don't really think there's anything else that I need to tell you about, at least today. So thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.